Durant again. I didn't get much further in the book one, the tangible one. Got further in the Apple one, but I I put the I downloaded the Apple one to an iPad, just because that's what I had, and I was just like, well, let me do it. And without changing the size of the word, so it's just like the standard. The Apple one's only like 300 pages.
Do we have the same version?
Yeah, I think so.
Is yours on the smallest font size?
No, it's just whatever the standard size that whenever it downloaded.
Let me see. Hold on. Because it seems like I don't think mine is that much bigger, but mine comes to 1,165. I mean, maybe it's because I'm blind. I don't know, but
Yeah, my phone version is like in the thousands. Yeah, and then the book version's like 700 or so, and then
yes.
and then the one that's just the iPad size that only said like 340 pages.
All right, so I think with my size increase, it's a lot more. But when I didn't, I think I remember it being in the almost 700
I wonder what version you
pages.
have then,
I don't know.
because a lot of
But
the stuff you've described, it's
they've been similar, right?
Mhm.
That is so odd. Wow.
But it's very different. I know I said that last time, but even now and I guess seeing the 340 versus like the 700, half the stuff is cut out, but even the way the story is told is very different, I feel. And like some of the characters' names, so they're spelled differently. And then in the book, there was just Philip. In the Apple one, it's Felipe.
Philippe, yes.
Yeah, with the P at the E at the end.
Yes.
Um,
Well, that's how I say it since he's French.
I say everything wrong to begin with, so um, but there's other characters and like situations that it's almost like he combined them all into one thing. Totally very different. Yeah.
Oh, no. Now I feel like I should read the book too. I mean, are you still are you still trying to do both?
Yeah, the Apple one still it's more focused on the plot, and the book is it has the plot to get to these long speeches and letters and things of that nature. Whereas the free version, it just I mean, the people talk. I don't want to make it sound like there's not like speeches randomly, but yeah, it's definitely plot focused for sure. And
Does it flow better or are they very similar?
I think so. So like even at the beginning, so when um, the similarities are Tarrant meets William of Warwick, and then the book goes on about like how humble he is and how much he didn't say, and there's a lot more to that. The Apple one meets Warwick, and he says something about like why he ended up like falling asleep on the horse, blah blah blah, and then his friend Diaphabus, which is an F in the Apple one and a PH in mine, starts telling the tale of why Tehran is such a great knight. And in the book version, there's like all the things about the different kings from the different areas coming to the jousting tournament. And they mention the jousting tournament, but Tehran only fights one person, not all four. And then it combines the one where he kills the brother. No, he kills one of the kings, and the brother comes to fight Tarrant to what's the word I'm looking for? Not justify, but avenge his brother, and they have the big battle, and that's mixed in with the story where the lady gave her the pendant. Um, the Apple one got a little more saucy about how he got to like. The book version said he did get to take it himself. The Apple one got a little bit more detail of how he took it himself, and it combines that battle, that man fighting for her honor. It's all kind of combined in the Apple one.
Wasn't that Agnes? Or am I?
That's Agnes. I didn't know who Agnes was until then. Yeah, but that's Fair Agnes. So now I know who Fair Agnes is. But I don't remember the book. I would have remembered this. I do not remember the book. Tarrant fighting in a field with just a shirt on and flowers on his head. Like, I remember the paper shield and the sword, but the rest of it that they agreed to, I don't remember that. And I feel like I would remember a bunch of pantless men's like stabbing each other. Like,
Oh, I vaguely remember that.
yeah,
Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. Wow. So it's very different.
I think so. And I don't remember Tarrant fighting a greyhound dog. Because the Apple one made a big deal about how the dog was coming at him with a sword in its mouth, and then it dropped the sword, so Tarrant threw his sword down and like fought the dog, bit the dog, killed the dog, and because he did it like a dog without a weapon, because the dog chose not to use a weapon, he got honors as a knight. I feel like I would remember that. It's very specific.
Yes. Oh, wow. That's very interesting.
But
Hmm.
but I feel like I've gotten many pages deeper into the Apple one, and not so many. Not so. The other one, I guess doing them both at the same time, it's like kind of like not confusing me, but I don't quite remember as clearly what's happening in the book version. Like, I know him. There's some speeches, and his love interest is talking about something. A lot of talking.
Like dialogue, or monologues.
Monologues. Um,
Okay.
yeah, the Apple one. It definitely implies a lot more sauciness than, and maybe I'm just more attuned to it now that I'm like a romance expert.
You basically are.
But there's like or maybe because it's not as wordy, so it's a little more clear. But like it definitely implies a lot more, like, or like so like they're on the ship and they're trying to go to the island of Rhodes. I almost said Rhode Island and I had to like clarify the island of Rhodes. And they get there and they get off the ship, and the king basically they say that the king um, gave them food and everything they needed after a long voyage, and it was like a wink, wink. And it's like, I was like, so maybe that's the sauciness that you said you read about somewhere. How like, because have you gotten to a lot of that?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. It's been more the parts that I have read, they have it's been well, no. It's not always implied because there are certain parts when the Princess Carmesina
oh yes.
allows Tarrant to touch her bosom.
Scandalous.
And to lift her skirt.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Well, I wonder. I'm curious to see how it does compare with the book one. Like I said, that is supposedly supposed to be closer to how the original text is. So I wonder. Well, I guess we'll see if I ever get through some of these speeches.
So I am like 40 pages from the halfway point. I had to go into 4 AM mode to make it happen, but we did. And I am actually really enjoying it. Well, it shares a lot of similarities to like the other epics that we have read. Don't you think, like the battles and then their love interests?
I could see that, yeah, with the Three Kingdoms and the Water Margin one. How it's
I'm almost ready to move on. I mean, I'm enjoying the story, but I think, as you mentioned earlier, I'm almost ready to get into more modern, contemporary classics. And I guess I don't know.
we got some thoughts.
So we still have a lot. Another year's worth, perhaps.
This one or in general?
In general.
Yeah, there's a good handful before we get to
Okay.
What do you consider you when you say
Well,
this? Do you mean like things out like 1800s count? So stuff like I don't know what's in there, but like Dracula or something like that, or
I just feel like I have. I mean, look, we have gotten a good dose and taste of the ancient epics, and I think I sort of get the you know idea and
but then
yeah.
again, it's like we said in the past, like I probably would have never read the Water Margin, and out of nowhere, someone um, was putting like asked if anyone had ever read this book called The Water Margin, and I was like, well,
Really?
hmm but yeah, no, I feel like some of the stuff it's kind of burning out to a point, I guess. Um,
I think that's a good way to put it. I'm almost burned out on these ancient
yeah.
epics.
So what if we do this? What if we manage to we finish Toronto and soon, like we do it. We finish it, and then we do something like so new it came out yesterday, like, and then we go back to the. Um,
That's not a bad idea.
I don't want to do it every time because I feel like then we would never ever leave the 1500s. Um, but and maybe not something as long as Duck's Newburyport, but something short and sweet to like as a treat, as a little dessert for finishing Toronto.
I'm on board.
Okay.
Um, but who is going to pick?
Whoever finishes first.
So you're thinking like a new release,
Yeah, something
or
or something, something newer, maybe something fluffier, something that's not so heavy.
I have just been eyeing the short list for the International Booker Prize. I don't know why I keep going back to
Oh,
them.
I don't think I've looked at it yet.
Yeah, they're. I mean, the titles seem very interesting, but then again, I mean, it depends on who's on the panel.
Right.
But they seem very interesting. You know me and my weakness for books and book lists. Um, so okay, so whoever finishes first gets the pick.
Yeah, which is going to be you because I'm pretty much shooting myself in the foot right now.
Well, I mean, you're reading too.
Oh, but if I do win, I don't I don't know yet, but I could find something.
You just have that look on your face that. I mean, I don't know if I should be. I am both intrigued and scared, or not scared but worried, I guess.
Oh, you should be scared.
Oh, we can't forget about. Did you want to revisit the part about Philippe and the needle on the bed?
Oh yeah, what?
Okay. Did you? It I don't know. Maybe you started later, or did you read the whole book through the Apple version?
I'm only still in like the Sicily part, so
Okay.
I'm almost there actually. They're at the dinner party, and Philippe is uh, just cut the bread, and everyone laughed at him, and so Tarrant saved
Oh,
him,
yes.
which that did happen in the book. I remember that it was
Okay.
a lot longer to get through all that, but what the guy sums up in like a paragraph. But so I know the needle thing is like right there. It's so close.
I think I understand your confusion. Because in the version that I'm reading, the Apple one, it was made very clear and plain, I guess, that was the deciding point of her wanting to marry him,
Yeah, so
right?
that's what the book said. I just
Yes.
don't understand what happened from him leaving the room. What about the situation made her go, "Yeah, I want to marry him"? That's what I don't understand. It's
From what I was able to gather from reading my version, all right, so the room that he was placed in had two beds. One had the brocade and richly made, and then when he was going to sew his stalking, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know. He dropped the needle
Right.
on the bed and he couldn't find it.
Right.
And so while he was looking for it, he just messed up the bed and then decided not to sleep in it.
Right.
So he had to, rather than making that bed back up, the plain white one,
Right.
he chose the richly brocaded bed, which in her eyes,
Yeah.
she didn't know that he chose it, because he didn't want to sleep in that bed. She thought that he deliberately chose it, and that's what gave him stature.
Because he wanted a fancy bed.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes, that's it. But see, she doesn't know that though. She just thinks that because he is a king's son and a man of stature. That was the only thing that I said.
Because that was all in there. I just couldn't figure out, like, what was it about that other bed?
I think there were some points that were probably made more clearly in the Apple version than the book.
Yeah. I feel like since it's so pared down and like so like compressed that it is certain parts have to be made much more clear, much quicker.
Mhm.
So, well, I'm glad that's solved.
So,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So they're that makes sense. They're all about wealth and money and
yes,
stature and
yes.
don't-
I mean, and how dare he choose the plain white one, right? I mean, it's just too plain for a princess.
Do you know why it was such a big deal to cut the bread 12 times?
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it was some custom. I don't. It must have been some sort of like Italian custom. I almost forgot what they were. That maybe they did something else with the bread because he cut the bread and everyone's laughing at him. And that was in the book too. That was like right before. No, that was right after the whole thing about the philosopher talking about how he knew the king wasn't like the real king because of the bread. A lot of bread stuff in the book.
Wow.
Totally wiped out of this thing. Not a single word about it. But so yeah, it must have
Okay.
been there must be just little nuances about the customs of the time that I just
I
don't
was
know.
going to ask you. So the are you referring to when Philippe cut the bread?
Yeah,
That
they're all like having the dinner
Yeah.
right before they go to bed, before the bed scene.
is
And
that when they were laughing at him?
yeah,
I didn't quite catch the gist of that either.
yeah, I have no idea. But then
Um,
Tarant ran over and put the money and then sent it out, and everyone felt really bad because they were like, "Oh, we never give to the poor."
yes, it's been a while. I may have thought about something, but I didn't write anything down. But
I didn't know if you knew. Maybe
yeah,
I had. So yeah, it's just one of those little, I guess, little cultural or time period things that, because I mean, you want to share your bread. I see nothing wrong with that.
no, gosh, I might have to find that part again. But yes, I mean, so why didn't they thank him ghost for doing what he did?
Yeah.
For cutting it the way he did? I just don't.
Cutting it 12 times.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that part. I mean, I remember Tarrant saving him from
Tarrant's smooth about it too. He ran in,
his
put the coins. He was
ghostiness.
like, "There's 12 because of the 12 disciples." It's like, wow, you quick on your feet, Tarrant.
I mean, he really is.
I didn't realize until this version too. Like, he's only like 20.
Tarrant?
When they described him being like, it was shocking that he's so adept at battle for being so young.
Mm.
So,
Oh, okay. Okay.
but I'm really good at reading like Roman numerals now. Like, I'm very impressed with myself. Like, Kathleen came back and we were saying something and she was like, "You put like 4 C's in a row, it doesn't mean anything." Because actually, it means 400. Very proud. Shining moment, really.
You should be. I mean, it's a lost art now, right? People don't even know their Roman numerals.
Yeah, but I only know it because of the previous one. I kind of keep in track. If you just showed me one, I'd be like, I don't know, 10.
I can never remember what the L stands for. 50, right? Or that's 50. The C is 100.
100. And then I can't figure out like what made him go from like putting something before or after. Like I know it's like around the 5 point is when they switch, but if you like have like 456,
Hmm.
like I wonder, or 446, then you'll have like
Oh,
C
yeah,
C C C
the
XL
10, I mean, the X would be before the L,
before the
right?
L,
Yeah.
right? And then after that, it would be the V
Uh-huh.
followed by the one, I guess.
The two eyes or something like that, right?
Yeah, if we're
Oh,
going
no, no,
for
no. One
yeah, if we're going
for
for
six.
400, but I guess it'd be 4 C's in a row. I don't know about that one. I'm assuming it's 4 C's in a row.
Yeah.
But is there one for 500? Could it be M? What's M?
I don't know what M is. Maybe we can find out what M is. Oh, speaking of, I mean, I am loving being able to use the internet here. I have been out for a week.
Is that like a pitch for the library?
Yes. M is 1,000.
Okay. Is there a 500?
Let me see. Okay, so 500 is D.
Oh.
And I didn't know that there was a D.
So would it be CD XL
Oh, yes.
VI?
Yes, I think you're right.
Huh.
I mean, that's one way of writing it, I guess. But, I mean, can you ever have more than three of the same Roman numerals in a row? If not, then I guess what you're saying would be right.
8? Don't they do 8? Isn't 8? Yeah, 8 is V111.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no more than three,
I guess
right?
not.
All right.
I don't know.
Yes, see, because 9 is IX.
Right.
All right, so I guess no more than 3.
Okay.
All right.
Like if we can't figure out the Roman numerals, how am I going to figure out why they cut the bread 12 times? I don't know. I'm not a math person.
Okay, yeah. All right. Interesting. D is 500. Okay, so since we have already segued, I want to quickly mention, do you remember how I used to complain to you that I did not like red wine vinegar?
Right, yeah.
Okay, so I have
I
had
got many bottles from you because of this.
I actually bought another bottle. I thought, okay, let's see how this goes. And if I don't like it, I can give it to Ryan. And I actually used it and it was better. I mean, I don't know if it's because my taste buds are changing or if I just found a salad dressing that has that ingredient that's better.
So is it you bought a bottle and you made your own dressing, or it was an ingredient in a dressing?
I bought the vinegar to make my own dressing.
What kind of dressing was it?
It was just like a shallot vinaigrette
That sounds nice.
with shallots, the red wine vinegar, olive oil, Dijon mustard, salt, black pepper, and I think that was it. I don't remember.
Yeah, that sounds.
So,
Yeah, not liking. That's a very bold recipe for someone who does not like red wine vinegar.
I don't know what happened. I mean, it was just like a lot creamier, and so, I mean, I was very surprised too.
I wonder. I guess you'll have to make something else and see if it was just that combination. Because I mean, pretty much all of that is your basic base for a vinaigrette anyway.
That's what I was thinking. So I don't know what's different.
So it could be the brand. You got to make something else. You got to make some other sort of vinaigrette and see if it's still
Okay.
see if it's still good.
But yeah, so I am coming around to red wine vinegar.
I guess that means I had to start purchasing my own.
Okay, so you may not be getting another bottle of red wine vinegar from me, but I don't remember now why I ended up buying white wine vinegar, which I probably will not use again. Do you have anything to use for white wine vinegar?
So we just get stuff and I figure it out as I go.
Okay.
I don't really plan.
What recipe did I use it for? I don't remember if it was for a dressing or for an ingredient in another dish. I will okay. I will see if I will ever use it again. And if not, you have yourself a bottle of white wine vinegar.
It's,
Okay, so did you want to try to finish within the next 2 weeks?
I always try. I have yet to succeed.
Well, I mean, as I said, I don't know what it is, but this time around, my 4 a.m. routine, it's been a little easier. I mean, I don't know.
It's all that Goggins.
I mean, I had to get into David Goggins mode. It's it was very, very hard at first when I just decided to do this whole morning routine. But this time around, I don't know. It's been a little different. I've been sleeping a lot better. Okay, so I did try something that a doctor mentioned. Um, he he claims that if you eat kiwi with the skin on it a few hours before bed, that you will sleep a lot better.
Do you scrub the skin, or
I just wash it.
feels so furry? Is it?
It the texture is not very appealing,
Yeah.
but I eat it anyway because it is supposed to have a lot of polyphenols and
You're the
and
second person that in recent memory that has mentioned eating a kiwi with the skin on for different reasons.
I always peeled it too before I heard him speak about it. But that one night that I did it, I slept like a baby.
Did you wake up okay though? Because that's my thing. I don't I don't have a problem passing out, but when it's time to wake up, I don't want to get out of bed.
Ryan, I think I slept so well and so deeply that I think I set my alarm for later, but I got away before the alarm and I felt fine. I even had the best exercise routine that morning. But I ate too, and it needs to be pretty ripe. I mean, it's not pretty ripe, but ripe enough.
Okay.
Maybe.
I'll try it. I'll try it. I'll see if I find a kiwi. Do you chop off the ends?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I was gonna say that seems crunchy.